Be calm, be calm. Don't move, don't react. Smile, breathe. Act like you're fine. It's okay, it's okay. You'll fix it, just not today. Sorry. You sing this song a lot. Not out loud. Inside your head. Every time pressure gets close. Now listen carefully. That song is not calm. It's sedation. It's how you silence alarms instead of fixing the fire. You don't stay calm. You freeze. You suppress. You delay. You call it control, but it's avoidance. You tell yourself, be calm, when you should act. You tell yourself, relax, when discipline is required. Calm without action is just fear in good clothes. Let me be clear. Calm is not pretending nothing is wrong. Calm is seeing the problem clearly and not panicking. And you panic silently. You smile while collapsing inside. Oh, that's impressive. You even fooled yourself. You confuse calm with numb. You confuse patience with postponement. You confuse restraint with paralysis. Real calm moves. Real calm decides. Real calm acts under pressure. Calm is not weak. Calm is dominance. When you're truly calm, you don't react emotionally. You don't argue with impulses. You don't negotiate with fear. You execute. You want calm? Then stop feeding chaos. Stop living loud inside your head. Stop mistaking noise for urgency. Build structure. Enforce routine. Decide before emotions hijack you. Calm is what remains when you've removed excuses. Calm is earned. You don't need to be softer. You need to be steadier. And now you know the truth. Not the song you hum. Not the lie you repeat. But the answer that actually works. The solution is that you be calm. Good. Stay right here. Sorry. Do you feel that? That strange quiet after everything explodes. That's the moment most people escape. Don't. Let me guess. Right now your mind is trying to reorganize itself. It's saying, okay, I get it. I'll change. Yeah, that sentence again. Listen to me. Understanding has never been your problem. Execution is. I've seen this before. Not you specifically. This pattern. There was a guy, let's call him Nothing. No name, ordinary. Smart enough, always tired. He loved calm videos, loved advice, loved planning. Every night he said, tomorrow I'm serious. Every morning he woke up already behind. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? One day he finally snapped. Not loudly, quietly. No speech, no promise, no motivation. He just sat down, closed everything else, and worked. Badly, but worked. That's it. That's the whole story. No miracle, no breakthrough, just repetition. See, even my throat hates excuses. You want to feel powerful. You think power comes from intensity, from emotion, from pressure. Wrong. Power comes from composure, from staying clear when everything inside you wants chaos. Wait. I know what you're about to say. But what if I fail again? Of course you will. At something. Failing is not your issue. Quitting is. Calm people don't panic when they fail. They adjust. Calm people don't dramatize mistakes. They correct them. Calm people don't abandon the system. They return to it. You keep thinking discipline is aggression. It's not. Discipline is patience with teeth. Calm doesn't rush. Calm doesn't argue. Calm doesn't beg motivation to show up. Calm says, this is the hour. Calm says, this is the task. Calm says, do it now. Notice something? Your breathing slowed. That's not peace. That's control returning. You've lived reactive for too long, jumping from feeling to feeling, from urge to urge. Calm breaks that chain. Calm is when the urge appears and you don't obey it. Calm is when the noise screams and you lower the volume. Calm is when you act anyway. Give me a second. I want you to imagine this. Not dramatically, precisely. Tomorrow, same room, same chair, same distractions. And there, right there, is the moment. The moment your hand moves toward the easy exit, toward the lie. That moment decides more than this whole speech. And in that moment, you don't shout, you don't fight, you don't motivate. You calm down and you execute one step. Not the whole plan, not the perfect version, one step, one page, one paragraph, one problem, one set, one honest action. Funny thing, calm multiplies. One calm action turns into two into momentum, momentum into confidence, real confidence, the quiet kind. You don't need to be louder. You need to be steadier. You need to stop letting emotion drive. And yes, you'll feel resistance again. Good. Resistance means you're finally doing something real. Stay calm. Stay deliberate. Stay boring. Because boring built everything you admire. And now, right here, you know the answer. The solution is that you be calm.
Meet Kitty the trader. Kitty sees shiny numbers on screen.
Right here, you know the answer. The solution is that you be calm. And now that you've heard it, don't rush away. Stay. Calm is not the absence of intensity. Calm is intensity under control. It's the difference between fire that burns the house and fire that forges steel. You've lived too long in reaction. Every sound pulled you, every feeling decided for you, every impulse felt urgent. That's not living, that's being dragged. Calm is when you choose the pace. Calm is when you slow the moment just enough to see clearly. When you are calm, you don't argue with chaos. You don't wrestle noise, you starve it. You remove the extra, you close the unnecessary, you simplify the day, and suddenly, what felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What felt heavy becomes structured. What felt impossible becomes sequential. You don't need to fix your whole life. You need to fix the next action, then the next, then repeat. Calm turns mountains into steps. Panic turns steps into walls. Listen carefully. Calm is not passive. Calm is decisive. A calm mind says, this is what matters. This is what waits. This is what I ignore. A calm mind does not debate endlessly. It executes. You've been emotional with your discipline, inspired one day, collapsed the next. Calm fixes that. Calm makes you boring, and boring is powerful. Boring routines, repeated actions, quiet consistency. That's how strength is built. That's how confidence becomes stable. That's how results start appearing without you announcing them. Calm is waking up and not checking. Calm is starting without negotiating. Calm is finishing without applause. Calm is doing the work even when the emotion is missing. You keep waiting to feel ready. Calm doesn't wait. Calm starts anyway. Readiness follows action. Clarity follows movement. Confidence follows proof. And proof is quiet. Proof doesn't shout. Proof accumulates. One calm decision today is stronger than 10 emotional promises. One calm routine beats 1,000 motivational spikes. You don't need to be louder. You need to be steadier. Stop reacting. Stop rushing. Stop panicking internally. Slow the moment. Control the breath. Narrow the task. Calm is how you take your mind back. Calm is how you stop leaking energy. Calm is how you lead yourself. When pressure hits, calm keeps you precise. When fear shows up, calm keeps you rational. When temptation whispers, calm keeps you aligned. Calm is not softness. Calm is authority without noise. You don't rise by force. You rise by control. You rise by calm repetition. So from this moment, you slow down just enough to do things right. You don't rush decisions. You don't chase feelings. You don't follow chaos. You choose. You act. You repeat. And when the world gets loud again, when your mind starts racing, when pressure tightens, remember this: the slotion is that you be calm. You know what's funny? The moment you finally calm down, your mind starts doing something it hasn't done in a long time. It starts telling the truth. Not loudly, not dramatically, just honestly. And the truth is, you don't need a new personality. You need a new pattern. You don't need more emotion. You need more control. You don't need another fresh start. You need a boring continuation. Calm is how you stop restarting your life every Monday, every month, every next week. Calm is how you stop turning your goals into seasonal decorations. Let me guess. You're thinking about all the times you tried to fix everything at once. The big plan, the perfect routine, the strict rules you couldn't sustain. Yeah, the dramatic collapse right after. You weren't failing because you're hopeless. You were failing because you were emotional. You built a system for your best day. Then you lived through a normal day, and the system broke. That's not discipline. That's fantasy. Calm builds systems for normal days. Calm makes the plan survivable. Calm says minimum first, because minimum is what keeps you alive when life gets messy. Here's a calm rule that will offend your ego. If you can't do the full version, you do the minimum version. You do not do nothing. You do not disappear. You do not turn one imperfect day into a week of drift. You do the minimum. Yes. Calm even after that. Because calm is not softness. Calm is control after impact. The minimum is what makes you reliable. The minimum is what keeps the chain alive. The minimum is how you stop bleeding time. Wait. You're the type that asks, but what is the minimum? Of course you are. You want the exact line. Fine. Minimum discipline looks like this. One focused block. One physical reset. One clean shutdown. One block, 25 minutes, one task, no switching. One reset. Water, breathe, move your body, no screen reward. One shutdown. Write the first task for tomorrow and close the day. That's it. Boring. Effective. Now, I want to tell you a story that's going to annoy you because it's too ordinary. There was a night, late, quiet, no inspiration. A guy sat at a table with his phone face down. He didn't feel like a hero. He felt empty. He looked at his work like it was an enemy. Not because it was hard, because it was honest. And he did something small. He set a timer. He opened the task. He wrote one ugly line. One. Just one. The next day he did it again. Same chair, same timer, same ugly start. And the ugly start stopped feeling ugly. It started feeling normal. That's how minds change. Not with lightning, with repetition. You want a miracle? Become consistent. That's the only miracle that actually exists. Calm is the skill of not turning discomfort into a crisis. Calm is seeing the urge and not dramatizing it. Calm is refusing to feed the impulse with a story. Let me demonstrate. Right now you feel an urge, maybe not for your phone, but for escape. For a different tab, a different thought. Something. Anything. That urge says, this is too long. This is too much. I'll come back later. There it is, the door. Calm closes the door, not by force, by decision. I stay for one more minute. I stay for one more breath. I stay.
I was about to drop out of university because I
Decision. I stay for one more minute. I stay for one more breath. I stay. You've never trained staying. You trained leaving. That's why leaving feels natural. Train staying. Train it daily. Make it normal. You want to be dangerous, not loud dangerous, calm dangerous. You know what that means? It means you didn't run at the quiet. That's new. Let me guess what your mind is doing now. It's scanning for a shortcut. Always does. So what's the trick? There isn't one. Calm isn't a trick. It's a discipline you practice when no one is impressed. You spent years reacting first and thinking later. Texts decided your mood. Deadlines decided your panic. Opinions decided your confidence. Calm flips the order. Think first. Decide second. Act last. That delay right there, that half second where you don't react, that's power. You feel that little space opening? That's not weakness. That's room to choose. Here's something nobody tells you. Calm people don't feel less. They feel cleaner. Clean anger. Clean focus. Clean ambition. No spillover. You, on the other hand, you've been leaking emotion everywhere. Into your work, into your sleep, into your decisions. Calm plugs the leaks. Story time. Short one. There was a meeting. Tension thick. Voices sharp. The loudest person thought he was winning. He wasn't. The calm one waited. Listened. Spoke once. Room shifted. That's how calm wins. Not by volume, by timing. You talk too soon. You move too fast. You decide too emotionally. Calm teaches you to wait. Waiting teaches you to see. Seeing teaches you to choose correctly. Give me a second. You know why you avoid calm? Because calm makes you responsible. When you're calm, you can't blame stress. You can't blame confusion. You can't blame everything happening at once. Calm leaves you alone with the truth. You did it, or you didn't. And that scares you. Because excuses are comfortable. Accountability isn't. But accountability is lighter. It looks heavy at first, until you stop carrying lies. Lies are heavy. Pretending is heavy. Calm is simple. Simple doesn't mean easy. It means clear. Here's a calm habit that will change everything. You finish what you start. Sounds obvious. It's rare. Finish the email. Finish the block. Finish